Today we have Tyler Leleux, a multimillionaire and AI operator, which will help you scale in your business.
By 2030, a minimum of 50% of all current job tasks to be automated and replaced by AI.
This guy has been able to optimize multiple companies and scale them to the next level, implementing AI agents and AI softwares.
If you have a company that doesn't have systems, operations in place, you grow to a certain point where the company begins to crumble from the inside out if you don't have streamlined systems in place.
And in today's episode, he will tell us how he did it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bali Talks, where we have valuable conversations with business owners and entrepreneurs. Welcome, brother.
Thanks, bro.
If you could give us a little introduction about yourself, where you're from, and what do you do?
So my name's Ty. I am from Tampa, Florida. I have an AI consulting and integrations firm. We do marketing, sales, operations for businesses, preferably online businesses, but we work with, local service-based businesses as well.
So basically this AI that you have systemizes what a VA or like...
Basically any employee. So there's a research company called McKinsey & Associates, and they did a report recently where they said by 2030, which is 5 years from now, they're expecting a minimum of 50% of all current job tasks to be automated and replaced by AI. That's a minimum of 50% of all jobs in the United States. So I saw that and I was like, man, I need to shut down my traditional social media marketing agency, and I'm pushing all my chips in the table on AI. Like, we're going all in on it.
No, totally. I mean, you can basically do automations and so much stuff, like you said, replace your current employees. So tell me your story. We all have a story where, how do you guys started into this AI? What was that turning point that, okay, you had this agency, it wasn't working, you had a mentor that really showed you the path, this is what you need to focus on? What's your story there?
So my story, I've been in the marketing space for about 10 years now. My background is mostly agency related. So I've worked at marketing agencies. I was always the number 2, number 3 person at the agency, helping them really build it. They laid the foundation, the co-founder would lay the foundation, and then I would come in, help them templatize their systems, their processes, and really help them build a enterprise kind of company, right? So if you have a company that doesn't have systems, operations in place, no SOPs, nothing like that, you grow to a certain point where the company begins to crumble from the inside out if you don't have streamlined systems in place.
Got it. So now with this AI company that you have, right, you implement the same strategy, but now it's with automations with AI, replacing the job that they don't want to have, they don't want to deal with, correct?
Right.
And so, okay, is there any industry that you focus on? Like you said, online, it's coaches, or what is it?
Our ideal client is a online-based business, so somebody that's a coach or consultant that has a high-ticket offer, preferably something above $2,000, $3,000 and up. We can work with people with low-ticket offers, but with the way ad costs are right now, it gets very hard to get a profitable customer acquisition cost with just a low-ticket offer. Yeah. A low-ticket offer is good to get people in your ecosystem, to get them to have some skin in the game, right? But you got to have them ascend into higher ticket offers. So yeah, we prefer those types of people, preferably somebody that's making above $30K a month.
Okay.
So when they're making $30K a month, that tells us that when we come into this organization, they have proven product market fit. So, the market has a demand for whatever it is that they're selling. We don't want to build somebody's offer from the ground up and they're selling something nobody wants and then they blame us for it. So we want to come into a business that has an offer that already has product market fit, and then we streamline the whole thing. We build out SOPs. We develop and deploy custom AI agents to solve specific tasks. So the biggest thing is I'll be talking to a client on an onboarding call, and the number one question I'll ask them is, from your sales and your marketing process, from acquisition through fulfillment, what's the biggest time suck in your business? It depends on the business. So if it's, somebody like you, for example, it'll probably be clipping long form podcasts up into short form, posting them on different platforms, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, whatever, video editing, stuff like that. And then we'll develop a custom AI solution around how to leverage that and streamline that.
That's pretty crazy. That's basically how private equity works as well. When I'm raising capital for a company or whatever, they need to make sure that they have some proof of concept, at least like 2 year track record.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting them like, oh, it's a startup, oh, it's a software that we're just trying out,
Right.
and it's just like, okay, what if it fails? Like I'm just spending all this energy into it for what? I love that. And so, are you thinking on developing your own AI or?
I mean, so this is one of the things that I feel like we have a segment of the market that we can speak directly to, because I barely graduated high school. Like the talk that we had,
That team.
the talk that we had before. I know the background you come from. Like you're not a software engineer. You didn't go to school for computer science. Like I'm not a developer. Like we have prompt engineers, we have systems integrators on our team that do any of this complex stuff that I can't do myself. But I'm not really worried about building my own AI because there's so many platforms out there. Like you're not going to build a better AI than ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. Like you can use the existing LLMs that are on the market, but you string them together. So there's so many different softwares out there, and that's what we teach in our free community, is like how to cut through the noise. Like there's so many different softwares out there, but how do you tie them together to solve a specific problem that a business has? Because you can take all these individual ones. So like people will use ChatGPT for writing their captions, but then they also have, automated systems that aren't tied in with that same ChatGPT that has your whole history. So now you have to reprompt it for this message and then come over here for the captions and reprompt it. We teach you how to tie it all together to solve a specific problem.
Wow, that's savage. And so, wow. Now that you told me that you said you didn't graduate for college, right?
No.
And so that's something that I preach a lot of people that they watch, right? Don't fall into the system if you don't need that paper to, get that job or whatever you want to do with your life. But study what you like. For example, I focus on studying the system. I study the system of the United States and I work it out. And so, for example, you mentioned a community, I'm going to mention mine. And so I have glitches, right? Where it's business owners and entrepreneurs. They start reading my book with the mindset. For me, that's my foundation for success. And then from there, they go to my community. They surround themselves with winners. And then they have access to my studio. They have access to my tools, AI tools or stuff like that. And so I teach them about the system. I teach them that my community is a nonprofit and all the benefits that we have from it. And we have a business that we profit. And the nonprofit is for profit at the end of the day. It's just, different type of structures. And so, okay, you mentioned your community. Tell me more about that. What is it?
So in our community, what we try to do is we try to speak directly to the avatar that we want as a client. So I hang around a lot of entrepreneurs, and none of these people are software engineers either. They don't care about this crazy matrix system feature. Like they just want to know, what can it do for my business right now? So that's why we made it super simple. The school community is called AI Early Adopters. And what we do is we do a webinar every week where we'll go through, maybe we'll do a business breakdown for somebody and we'll have them come on, tell us a little bit about their business. And then we'll say, okay, here's how you would build a custom AI agent or a team of agents to, solve XYZ task. And we try to help people cut through the noise. We don't care about all the buzzwords around AI. We just try to make it as simple as possible for business owners and like, how is it applicable to my business like right now?
For somebody that is trying to get into the AI game and implement it in their business, what do they have to do to join the community?
It's a free community. So they just go to school.com, search AI Early Adopters, and you'll see the community there. It's my logo. It's the reactive logo. It's 2 upside down blue triangles. Jump in there. You'll probably get hit by my sales team. They're probably going to want to upsell you, but if you're not ready to move forward with that yet, then you just join the live webinar that we do every week, and you'll see.
Listen, all of you, all our entrepreneurs and business owners, you guys need to at least learn about AI, because think about it. It's just right now, it's just the peak of the iceberg. We're just getting access to a little bit of it, and it's a huge monster. So if you start learning from now, from guys like him that he's implemented daily in businesses, trust me, you're going to be ahead of their competition. So probably these guys can learn from you, and you can create your own consulting business and make money with this. So please, you guys need to join, because I'm joining that community.
Yes, sir.
No, facts. Like I'm big into AI. I believe it's going to replace a lot of people. And not only is going to replace, but it's going to scale a lot of businesses.
Right.
And so that's what you're doing, right? You scale basically the business from how it is now, and I guess reduce the cost of time and money. What the hell?
Yeah, we're getting to a point where within it's not something that's far off. It's not a sci-fi thing anymore. Like we're getting to a point where like this year, like right now, there's going to be people that build 8, 9 figure companies with no employees. It's just them, maybe one or two other people, and like swarms of AI agents that accomplish tasks. So it's going to be the people that can manage the agents and that know how to tie the agents together to solve a specific problem. Those are going to be the people that don't get replaced. Also, people that do a lot, creativity. People that something that still requires a lot of one-on-one relationships. So I don't think sales, like closers, I don't think will get replaced by AI for a little bit because it still requires that kind of one-on-one communication. Setters, on the other hand, will probably get. So our company is planning to. We still have human setters. But our company is projecting to completely replace our team of human setters with AI agents, voice agents for the phone, and then DM and SMS agents for texting by the end of Q1.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you something. There's a business owner watching, and he's looking to implement this AI. They want to scale their business with AI. Do they need to learn about it, or do you do the implementation as well? How does that work?
So it's really up to them. Like one thing I'm big on is cutting my learning curve. If I can pay money to somebody for a mentorship, coaching program, a mastermind, you pay your money you're buying your time back essentially. So you're cutting the learning curve on how long it's going to take you to learn this specific topic. So they can pay us to cut their learning curve because, it's happening right now and it's moving very quickly. So who's to say you jump on this platform today, by the time you figure it out and learn it, there's already 3 other platforms that are more efficient and better at it. So we try to do that. But if they want to do it themselves, first what I would do if I was a business owner, I would try to map out my system, right? So think of your whole system from sales and acquisition all the way through fulfillment. Try to think of it in terms of like a flow chart. So how would you SOP out and then look at each one of those parts of that chart and see what's the biggest time suck in my business? And then usually 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, there's an AI solution to maximize the efficiency in that specific area.
Damn. Let me ask you something else. How important is data for you?
Well, they say data is the new oil. So
Yeah.
data is extremely important. And that's why, one of the things that we do with our company is we're trying to always collect data. So for example, if we have an ad agency that has clients in multiple different industries, we collect that data and feed it to, Google Sheets, Airtable, something like that, so that we can parse through that data. If we get another client, so if we get 5 clients that's in, the HVAC or, electricians, for example, the 6th client that comes on, we can already go to Airtable or Google Sheets and we can say, okay, this ad copy is what's performing the best. This type of content is what's performing the best. So that's all leveraging data.
Damn. Well, yeah, I mean, I raised $40 million for this investor of mine for a POS. And yeah, he told me like, bro, I'm not even making too much in these transactions. It's pennies.
Yeah.
But the data we're collecting for the banks,
It's crazy.
that's what we can sell.
It's
and I'm
crazy.
like, damn.
People don't know that anytime, like MasterCard, Visa, they sell your data to third-party providers. So I'll drop a gem for your audience right now. There's a site called audiencelabs.io. You can go to audiencelabs.io. It's a little expensive. It's like, I think the starting plan's $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month maybe. But Audience Lab basically buys all this third-party data from Visa, MasterCard, all these big companies, right? Google even. And you can create custom audiences around your avatar. So you can go in and say, I want, this is my target audience. I want people between this age that have this credit score that are searching these keywords on Google or YouTube. And it'll give you a list of tens of thousands of people. And you can take that list, upload it to Facebook, and now you have your own audience to run ads to that and it essentially cuts your ad costs down.
Damn. That's some game right there. So you guys, please go and check it out and learn more about it. AI is a lot about learning and adapting, right? Because this is new to us. And It's just gonna take over from here. So let me ask you something else. Have you ever been broke before?
Oh yeah, bro.
What
I don't
you
think
got
anybody.
money and how do you like? Tell me.
When I was a little kid, I would call it middle class. My parents were in real estate though, so real estate in Florida was really big in the late '90s, the early 2000s. They over leveraged themselves with real estate, so they got too many properties, they refinanced too many properties, and then the crash happened in 2008, 2009, and they lost everything. So I got to experience both sides of the spectrum. Like I got to experience what it's like to grow up in the suburbs and live that, American life. But I also experienced what it's like to have $0 in your bank account. You have no vehicle, you have no whip, you don't know what to do, and you have to figure it out on your own.
Wow. I preach that because I feel like people don't have to go broke, but you have to go through a certain point of your life where you need to taste that.
You
So
don't
when
know
you're,
no safety net.
yeah, correct. Because when you go to the top and you get this success, right? It's the only way that you're gonna value it because you've been through it. You've been without anything,
Yeah.
and so you know that okay, you can survive. You're not gonna die because you don't eat one day or whatever it is,
Yeah.
And so your friend, when he told me like, oh, you come from another country and you take advantage of these opportunities because of that.
Yeah.
Because I come from nothing.
Yeah.
And now that I have everything here, it's like, you don't think I'm going to take advantage of it?
Yeah.
You think I'm just going to sleep on it?
That's what I love about it too, is like being rich or having money doesn't have any meaning unless you've been poor before. Like one of my favorite things to do is hang out with my boys that we came from nothing and we made money together and
Yeah.
talk about the times when we had nothing and how we built, something from the ground up. That's my favorite thing.
So, yeah, I mean, building those relationships from the ground up, that's another thing because, I mean, if you do it alone, right, what's the point? Get at the top alone and then celebrate it with who? With some fake people and now they want to be with you?
Yeah.
It's totally. So let's talk about that. Okay, how important is your circle, or the people around you to you?
Having a strong team around you is everything. Like it accelerated my own success, my own learning, my own just gratitude for everything. Just having a team around you, like shout out to my brothers Trevor, my brothers Kane, Stefan, the people that I surround myself with. They motivate me, and like when people ask me who I look up to, like you have your, Iman Gadzis, your Alex Hormozis, but I look up to the people that I'm closer to because you can see, like there's certain traits that you can only see from Alex Hormozy on a YouTube video that you don't really get unless you're with them every day. So there's certain things I pick up on, like somebody's, work ethic, the way that somebody communicates with people. Like you can pick nuggets from people, and that's what I look up to in terms of the people in my circle.
Damn. Okay, you mentioned teams. How do you deal with teams? Do you micromanage? What is your strategy in communication with your team to be efficient, to have that teamwork and the dream team?
Mm-hmm. So it's a fine line between holding people accountable and micromanaging people. So you want to give people enough freedom to where they can treat their little sphere within your organization as their own company. Like you don't want B and C players. You want A players. And for A players to remain within your organization, they have to feel like there's upward mobility within your organization. So they have to feel like, look, if I treat, whatever it is that you do, HR, sales, running ads, whatever it is, if I treat this, sector of this company as my own company and build it, there's room for me to grow within the company financially. And that's what I try to instill in our team. We have a very lean team. I actually think, a lot of entrepreneurs use it as a signal to talk about how big their team is. I actually see that as a downside. So when I see an entrepreneur, like, let me preface by saying I'm not talking about Apple or Amazon. I'm talking about people with like online businesses, people like us. If they're bragging about how many employees they have, all it says to me is they're running a very inefficient business. They have no systems in place. I'm sitting there thinking I can probably automate out 70 or 80% of these people that you're talking about. So it just shows me that their profit margins are low. Their overhead is very high, which means that they're having to charge more money to their customers for a service because now they have to pay this employee, and it's squeezing their margins. But having a solid team of like essential people is really good. But you have to, like I said, motivate them to be A players. You don't want B and C players in your team.
Got it. Okay, if we were to work on somebody's business, right? And you need to go to the flow charts, you need to analyze. What is the first thing, or what are the essential things that you analyze to scale a business and implement this this AI that you have, the consultation? How does it go? Walk me step by step. What is that you see you start looking for?
Yeah, so we step into an organization, we look at everything. So I used to run a traditional ads agency, right? Like an SMMA. But one of the bottlenecks I found with that model is when you come into an organization and they're asking you just to run their ads. Anybody with experience in marketing will tell you if somebody pays you just to run their ads and you get into their business and you're like, well, this team member is going to fuck this up, and your funnel needs to be rebuilt, like you need new copywriting, you need a new content strategy to speak to the same audience that the ads are speaking to. So at that point you're like building their entire business, whereas they're only paying you to run their ads. So that's why we switched away from that model, and we're coming into an organization on more of like a fractional CMO, fractional COO type of model. So we come in as like a fractional chief marketing officer or a fractional chief operating officer, and we step into the organization. We figure out what softwares they're using, what CRMs they're using, what can be automated, like what's the most inefficient piece of the sales funnel, where the leaks are occurring, where the constraints and bottlenecks are occurring, and then we just aggressively try to solve those problems.
So I actually heard some people that are working on this with businesses hand to hand. They call it growth partners. Would you call yourself like a growth partner?
Growth partner, yeah. Growth operator, growth partner, yeah.
Got it. And so, if there's a business that they're interested in it, how do you work that out? Do you get a piece of the company as an equity or as a rev share? How does that work? You just scale them to a certain point. You get how does that work if somebody's interested?
So in my view, you have to almost get a little bit of either equity, rev share, profit share. It depends on the size of the business, so like where they're at in the business cycle. If it's a brand new business and they're making $10K a month, we'll come in on like a rev share model. If it's somebody that's making $100K a month, $120K a month, we'll come in on more of a profit share model that we make money only on profit that can be directly attributed to what we're doing. But it depends on the life cycle of the business. So we'll come in and they'll pay us for the initial 90 days. After the first 90 days, where we help them set up their systems, build out processes, if we want to continue the relationship with the client, not if the client wants to continue the relationship with us, because we're very selective about who we partner with as clients. Because you probably know, speaking to a lot of entrepreneurs, like there's different levels to entrepreneurs. Like you have some people where I'll send them an ad script and I'll tell them to film an ad for me. It'll take them 2 weeks. They'll forget about it. Like they'll not hit me up in the Discord for 3 or 4 days. And then there's some people, I'll send it to them 30 minutes later. They send it back. All right, what's next? What do I got to do next? Like those are the type of people we like to partner with.
Proactive.
For sure.
No, totally. What is your goal with this community? This community that you're building, that it's free, right? What is your goal with it?
So the goal is essentially to use it as, I'll use some marketing lingo, I'm going to use it as a lead magnet, right? Because when we're running ads, there's no friction to joining a free community. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to book a call with somebody. It's just a free community. We do the weekly webinar where we teach somebody, a specific application that an AI agent can solve. And then, invariably, you'll get a certain percentage of the people on that webinar who are our ideal client. And they'll be like, hey, I need this. But that same person may not have booked a call from the ad, or that same person may not have bought a low ticket thing. So we try to cast a wide net, get everybody into the community, and then parse through the people once they're already in there.
Now that we're talking more about marketing, what do you think about the people that buy leads and do cold calling?
Buy leads?
Don't you think they're just wasting their time at this point?
Yeah.
What is your opinion on that?
The lead vendor model is interesting. Like at my old agency, we built an entire lead vendor system for a life insurance agent, and he became the most famous life insurance agent probably in the country. He talks to Patrick Bet-David, and he got to a point where he kind of almost shut down his life insurance agency and went all in on just selling the leads to other life insurance agents, because we were getting them for so cheap. Like we're getting a life insurance lead that comes in that wants like a mortgage protection plan or something for like $13, and he's turning around and selling it to another agent for like $28, $29. And so we're getting like 7, 8, 900 of those a day, and it got to a point where he was making like $500,000, $600,000 a month with the lead vendor model. It works well for high volume sales companies, so health insurance, life insurance, real estate. Um, you have companies like publicly traded companies like Angie's List, but it comes with its own downsides. Like a lot of those leads are recycled. They've been hit up by everybody. They're just tire kickers and shopping around. But it depends on the industry that you're in. The lead vendor model can work. It's not my favorite thing to do though.
If we're talking to a real estate broker, right, and you just mentioned that that's good for like real estate, would you recommend them to do that, or would there is any type of AI automation that they can implement to start generating leads?
Yeah, you don't need like a call center anymore. You can have an AI voice dialer that's trained on your specific data. So a couple of them are Vappy or SynthFlow are a couple of them that we've used before. And you train the model on your business, and then leads come in. You can either purchase a stack of a few thousand leads, upload them to a system, and the AI just automatically starts hitting them. And the conversational AI is getting so good to it's people almost have a sixth sense for being able to tell between a human and an AI, but that line's getting blurrier and blurrier. So like it's very, very hard to tell at this point with some of these better models if you're talking to an AI or if you're actually talking to a person on the phone.
Um, there was one thing I wanted to ask.
To that last point too, though, there's a payment company called Klarna. So Klarna tested this out with AI agents recently. So they tested out AI agents for their customer service, and they found that the customer satisfaction rate was 10% higher than the humans that they had. And what happened was within a week, they fired 70 people. Like they tested it out. They found they got the data back that the customer satisfaction rate was higher. They eliminated 70 employees within 1 week. And think about 70 even if they're getting paid minimum wage, how much profit margin that opens up for a company. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars a month that just gets eliminated like that, or that comes into a company essentially at that point.
Guys, come on. Like, data speak for itself. You guys need to get into AI and learn. Like, come on. And so, okay, where will you tell people to go and buy these leads, let's say for brokers, real estate, whatever, to get high quality leads and put them into the dialer?
There's a few resources you can find leads. It depends on your industry.
Let's say real estate.
Real estate, I can't remember the name of the company for real estate. I know a lot of agent. There's a few white labeled sites that I can't think of the name of on the top of my head. But you can buy them. But you always read the reviews whenever you're going to a company like that, and it's always hit or miss. Like you can buy a bunch of leads, and it's just like if you're going door to door selling solar. Like you can knock 100 doors, and they're all going to tell you to fuck off, but the 101st door might be the one. So it's the same thing with buying leads. Like you can buy 1,000 leads, you can dial them, and then throw your hands up and say it doesn't work, or you can buy 1,000 more and then hope you hit jackpot.
Let me ask you something. How quick is this AI if we give them 1,000 leads? And what's the time frame that they take to set up the appointments?
So you can configure the settings on it similar to how you would do like a drip SMS campaign. So you can configure the settings where it's like, I want you to do them back to back to back, or you can set it up by time zone. So you can say, I only want you to call 100 leads during this. Some dialer, like power dialers, also have limitations. Like you can only make 700 calls within a 24-hour period or something. You can do it on like a drip mode. And then so that way your leads aren't getting called at 5 o'clock in the morning or something if they're in California and you're in New York.
Okay. And the last question will be, tell us some AIs that they're essential for a business. They need this AI. Any type of business. You know, all businesses have sales, marketing teams, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is these AIs that they need? Like,
So for sales, if you want a good voice dialer, I would go with SynthFlow or Vappy. Um, Another one we've been paying a lot of attention to, and we string it together with a couple of other ones. So we figured out how to make AI clones of people. So if we get somebody that comes on that's has a local service business, like an electrician or something, and they know they need to make content, they know they need to be on YouTube, on Instagram, but they don't really know, like, do people really care about electrician work day to day? But if you look on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, there's specific kind of videos that have millions of views on them that are electricians. So what we can do is we can have an AI agent scan YouTube for those keywords, find the top 10 electrician channels, find the top 10 videos within those electrician channels, transcribe them, and then rework them for him. And then we can use a software called HeyGen paired with 11 Labs to create a clone of him to where the electrician doesn't even need to be in front of the camera. We can tell him, look, send me a 10-minute voice note. I'm going to clone your voice. Mm-hmm. Send me a 5-minute video of you talking to a camera. I'm going to clone you. And then you have unlimited content around what you already know is working on YouTube because we've already sent an agent to go do that research for you.
Oh, that's crazy. I actually done it myself once. And I mean, I didn't know you could like analyze the market. There is, you know, there is going viral, what's working, what people are actually watching, and then recreate it, rephrase it with your face. Yeah. That's crazy because so many people, they don't know how to create content, right? For example, with the agency that we have, we give them a package where we teach them so they can do it and all that. But with you, they don't even need to know. They don't need to learn how to do content.
Yeah, that's why we name the free community early adopters, because we try to stay at the forefront of it, and we try to take all the information that we're getting and give it to the people in our community so that they can kind of cut through the noise.
Yeah.
And what we've like the thing that blew our mind is like we're thinking about, you know, the being able to clone yourself for content, and it's going to get to a point where it's, you know, you, but you also have your AI clone that does all of your online stuff for you, your content. You know, you can say, you know, I'll be posting, with your permission, of course, this podcast right now. I won't be saying this when I'm talking. I'll be saying something else, another script that I upload, and I'll have my AI clone say, you know, this is a podcast I filmed 2 months ago. The real me is in Bali somewhere, and I'm just uploading this script, and my AI clone is saying it for me for content.
Wow, that's hard. And just so you guys know, AI is the freaking revolution. He just blew my mind because why am I teaching people how to create content when I can just be doing the content for them, right? There are so many boomers, which they don't want to do content. They know they need to get involved because a lot of people are on their phones. It's your problem, it's your consuming or creating, but you don't even have to create content anymore. You don't have to learn about it. And so to wrap it up, can you tell something to your younger self? Some type of, I don't know, what would you tell your younger self?
I got asked this question a few times, and I always have the same answer. So if I were to go back, so I have Amor Fati tattooed on my wrist, and it's a Stoic phrase that means love your fate. So it means, you know, the good, the bad, everything that happens to you in life. Don't, you know, if I would never say all the mistakes I've made when I was younger, I'm glad that they happened because it made me who I am now. So if I were to go back, I wouldn't tell my younger self anything. I'd say keep doing exactly what you're doing, because I love my life right now. And I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now if I didn't go through, you know, the trials and tribulations that I went through before. So I'd just tell them it's going to suck for a little bit, but it gets better.
That's hard because you don't have to label shit. Like, there's no bad or good. It's just life. And you need to take the best out of it. You just need to take that feedback and learn from it. What are you going to do? Fucking cry about it and say, oh, life happens to me? Like, that's hard.
Right.
And so if you could share your social media, where they can find you, YouTube, Instagram, just share your social media. Sorry.
Yeah, everything's the same. So it's at Tyler Leleux, TYLER LELEUX, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok's getting banned, so no more TikTok. But yeah, those are the two main platforms. I spend most of my time on school, though, trying to educate the community. Posting a lot on Instagram and YouTube.
Give it back. Give them the community back so how they can get there.
The community is on school, and it's called AI Early Adopters. If you want the actual link, the URL is AI Acquisition School, but you can just search up the name on school, AI Early Adopters.
Man, this was a
Yeah, this is
valuable
awesome,
conversation. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
man. I appreciate you.